Thank And we're back for another episode of the My Hero Academia anime, the final season, episode 8, or episode 168, epilogue, the hellish Todoroki family, final. And I'm here with Spirit Magic Helmet. Uh,
Howdy ho,
are you aware of Mr. Poopy Butthole from South Park?
Mr. Hanky. Yeah. So, everybody, what we're going to be doing today is a little different than our normal format. We are going to be speaking only in couplets, starting at the end of this sentence. So, you will only hear us saying rhyming phrases from this point forward. Go ahead, alternate visuals.
Oh God, what happened? Oh. I don't know why my second screen flickered. Also, I'm gonna rebuke everything he just said. They were not doing that. That's too much work. I would need to become prepared with that. That had that suddenly sprung on me. Now I have to know what a couplet is.
You know what a couplet is. It's 2 lines of verse that rhyme.
I haven't had to make a poem in so long. I would have to go back into my years of doing that in high school. Specifically high school, because I have not done that since. Well, basically this episode in general is just a lot of like I wouldn't say plot points, story points that they want to go through, from the the city of Jakku being rebuilt to the graduation at the high school, to us going with the Todoroki family to see Toya / Dabi. And was there a fourth one, or did I? No, they just ended on the Todoroki drama. Okay, that was 4 plot points. I guess I'm thinking about the Aizawa being their homeroom teacher again in their second year. Oh no, the hospital scene with Bakugo. That must be one.
I thought you said that. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I just remembered. So I guess we can go into this in order. Very beginning of the episode, we just see the damage that was done, and also that they're making headway real quick on rebuilding the city. So I think I want to say this is why I was not really all that concerned about the city damage. I think you had brought this up before about how kind of sad it was, and how I think I may have not made my argument too well here about but I was thinking because the world's full of superpowers, a destroyed city really shouldn't matter all that much. It wasn't all that concerned. I think a lot of people are going to have their homes built back up and the city's back to normal probably within, they said it would normally take them years to build this kind of damage without quirks. So I would say they'll probably back up to normal maybe half a year, full year at minimum. I mean, while it's still time they gotta dedicate to building the city, I wasn't all that concerned because they have people with powers. Apparently, I think those superheroes that we were seeing were from America. Some of them.
Yeah, America sent a bunch. In the Reddits, there was a really smart person that was commenting that along with the Egypt hero, there was someone from Israel. Israel, I think, one of the heroes, and Red Dot or something like that. And I really hope that someone named Red Dot was from Israel and not India. I'm just realizing that as I say it. Jesus Christ! I don't want to. Now I don't want to find out.
Move on. You sound very subconscious.
But yeah, the idea, and also, I mean, the other indicator that these are probably not Japanese heroes is that they're not beat to shit, and we haven't seen them before. So, because pretty much every Japanese hero, with very few exceptions, is beat up. So, there's a few that weren't beat up, like the Kaminara or whatever, the guy with the electrical powers. He's not beaten up because he just used up all his energy and fried his brain. Physically he wasn't injured. But most of the heroes that could be beaten up were beaten up.
Yep. I want to bring it as like a hero that I saw that I just felt kind of funny, and I was like, I just called him 3D man, because he just like put on his goggles and then blipped a hologram of a building, and they said, "Okay, let's build that." And I'm like, I don't know where he came
Hmm.
from, but like I'm glad he exists.
The Yeah, that was pretty cool. The I mean, I think it's easy to forget that, like, even when you get your house back, your shit's gone. You know,
I mean, those are just
like if a
things that
building collapses and you lose your house, like they can rebuild the building and be like, "You're back. Here you go. Your house is back. You're all set." Be like, "All right. Well, what about my kitchen table, my dishes, my computer? My plasma TV?" Like, you still don't have stuff. Like, it's still going to be rough for you. It's very nice that they've got their buildings back and everything else, but like, there's still a lot of hardship and loss and like, if nothing else, like psychological trauma that pretty much everybody in Japan is going to have to get through.
I just don't think it's all that bad. I mean, oh, I understand where you're coming
Are
from.
you kidding? Have you ever lost something like that? When I was about 23, 24 years old, I was trying to drive my car. I lived on a hill, and I was trying to get in. I wanted to go out. There was going to be a really bad snowstorm, and I wanted to go out and pick up my friend to hang out with me, and so we could be snowed in. And I thought, if I can just get my car up this hill, there's nothing like this for the rest of the drive. If I can get my car up this little hill, then I know I can make the rest of the trip. And I tried to get up the hill, and I couldn't do it. My car started malfunctioning in some way. So I went in the house and I called my mom and I said, "There's something wrong with my car." And I was talking to her and I said, "Wait a minute, I see some flickers or something like that. Maybe because I'd called the fire department or something to come because my car was smoking." And I went out there and I wrote, "Nope, that's flickering is my car on fire." And I walked out, and the neighbor upstairs was this redneck. It was a double-decker building, like where upstairs and downstairs were rented separately. And I walk out, and the guy's like, "One of your tires just popped." And I was like, "Thanks, man. Thank you," from the fire. And I got off the phone. I just stood out there, and I watched my car burn while I waited for the fire department to come. I had so many nightmares about watching that fire. I had no idea how traumatic it was until I had nightmares for like a week. And I've always wondered about that. I'm like, if you actually had your whole house burn, given how hard that hit me, like just for my car, like I've always wondered, like, if you ever had your whole house burned, like the trauma must be incredible.
Okay, well, a few things. I'm sorry that happened to you. Second, I've seen a burnt home in person before. It was
Okay,
never
but it
this
wasn't
hot.
your.
Yeah,
It
I know,
wasn't
but what I'm
your
saying,
burn.
but I like, I still kind of hit me. Like, I'm grateful that I have a home that's still up. But second, like, the next thing I want to say is, like, I'm not saying that it isn't bad or sad that, but I'm saying those are things that they can be replaced. As long as they have their life, they can keep moving and try to like improve. I'm not saying their life is gonna be 100% aces now. Their buildings are back up. I'm just saying that, like, to me, like, they can start over. And it doesn't seem like none of them are really all that concerned, because now at least One for All is gone. They don't believe. We'll get to that later about like another One for All showing back up, but like, they don't believe another One for All will suddenly come out of the ashes. There's no guarantee that, like, there's no guarantee that he won't, another one won't show up, but they
Right.
all feel safe now that like they can build back up again. They don't all like. I think the most traumatizing thing for all of them is like over right now is the fight that Deku had to go through just to save the world from one man. But it's like, I'm not saying that like there won't be any hardships. I'm just saying that right now it's like, that's why I wasn't really all that concerned. Was the fact that their buildings are back up now. I at least thought it can start from somewhere versus starting from scratch. I feel like having a plot of land that was your house, you come back to that is more traumatizing than, like, I guess, a building that's now empty. Yeah, I mean, the memories are gone, but I look at it like this: you got your health, and like you can build back up again.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you haven't lost it all, but you've lost a lot. And like, depending on what was in that house, like maybe you lost valuable things. You know what I mean? Where you didn't, instead of saving money in the bank, you owned valuable things like paintings or something. or magic cards, or you know what I mean, like something that like was a collection that was a portion of your fortune or something. Or maybe you didn't have any money at all. Maybe you just had what you had and that's gone now, you know? Maybe you didn't really have anything saved up, and bouncing back is going to be really hard. So I just think like this world is Japan's in a rough spot, like in this world. And they're not decimated necessarily, but they're going to need a lot of help. A lot more than just putting the buildings back up.
I mean, it's only one spot though. Every other part of Japan seems fine. From what I can tell. It's just this
I
spot where
thought,
they're getting war.
I thought it was a pretty good swath, right?
I don't think it's just one city, because they're talking about Jocko and rebuilding Jocko specifically. And apparently Jocko was supposed to have been rebuilt earlier, but they postponed it because of what was going on with like their little war with All for One that was happening. Like, they should have been rebuilding earlier, but apparently those plans got postponed. Unless they were fighting a different area. Could be wrong, and they might have been fighting a different area. I don't know.
In My Hero Academia, Japan is described as being massively devastated by the end of the final war arc, but the series never gives an exact percentage. How much of Japan was devastated? The country is described as being on the brink of collapse. Government officials, news broadcasters, and hero leaders repeatedly state that the society is functionally collapsing and infrastructure across the nation is failing. The cities that hit the hardest include Jakku City being essentially obliterated, Kyushu area being damaged by earlier attacks by Shigaraki and the Paranormal Liberation Front, multiple metro regions damaged by Nomu swarms, liberation forces, and mass evacuations, UA evacuation areas further damaged during the final war. It's repeatedly stated that millions of citizens were evacuated or forced into shelters, entire districts were abandoned. Roughly, ChatGTP estimates 40 to 60% of Japan's urban areas suffered significant damage.
Okay, I was under the impression that those other areas that all those attacks happened had already been fixed up by this point, except for Jakku City, because that was like, messed up.
Mm.
I was under the impression that other parts were already taken care of, that they were already brought back to normal. But I'm guessing
I wasn't sure, but my impression was that like lots of places were wrecked. So,
I mean, those places you just said,
especially because they
areas. Those are different attacks.
They teleported portions of the people to all these different areas too. Remember? So that also made me think that might be the case. That like there were like 4 different battlefronts. Sorry.
I feel like everybody will be fine. I mean, yeah, economic collapse, just the world, I guess economic, yeah, collapse that's going on with their the normality of everything collapse. So yeah, they'll have to work at that. But I feel like they're at a good starting point. I don't think it's as dire. It's like it's like, I guess you're not trying to make it sound bad. And I know you're saying that there's just going to be things going on that they're gonna have to deal with now. But I just think about it, it's like, okay, the bad guy's gone. They can work on getting things better. Is like my point of view. Is like, now that All for One's gone, Shigaraki's gone too. All the villains, except for Spinner, that were also going to be posing a problem, are gone. Dabi's in prison, but he dies. Everything that could pose a problem could be good to go. They will have to deal with the losing of their pillar, their hero pillar, but that was already happening many episodes ago. We're just seeing it happen more and more now. But yeah, they're rebuilding as best they can. They all seem happy, at least from what I can tell. Nobody seems to be upset they had to start over. Also, to nobody. The kids, on the other hand, like, yeah. I guess we can talk about that now. We go to the hospital after in the real world, and we go back to we go to the hospital, and the first I wouldn't say casualty, but first person that we see after this fighting
Before you go to that, I would contest. You said you don't think people seem like they're okay. Like Lemillion's entire speech was about how people aren't smiling or laughing yet.
I've seen people as they're trying to rebuild, they're just smiling. I'm not saying they had to be laughing, but
Those
they don't
those
seem
people
all
weren't
bad
Japanese. Those
Huh?
people weren't Japanese.
But the workers?
We've already established that.
Construction workers?
We've already established that the people that were rebuilding in the scenes that where they were rebuilding were primarily not Japanese people.
Mentos is Japanese. That's why I'm smiling.
Yeah, he was the only one. Everybody else was like from different countries.
What are those little kids? Aren't those little kids that we saw at the beginning episode Japanese? I get they were kids, but I'm
I
just
think
saying.
they were from the movie. I probably Japanese. They were from the movie.
The movie we haven't seen?
The one we have seen. According to Reddit, they were from the movie.
I didn't recognize them.
I don't recognize anybody from the movie. I recognize them anyway, so they might as well be from the movie, since the movie's what I recognize the least about My Hero Academia.
There's no way they're from, unless. Those two seem like the same age. Like if they're talking about the girl and the boy from the second movie, the girl was older than the little boy. The boy was younger. These two little are the same age. Also, they kind of focused on these. There's a few characters they kind of focused on. I've kind of weirded it out, but still like waiting to see whatever this news they're talking about revealed the Jump Festa. I don't know what that's about. I'm under the impression I think it's gonna be a movie. It's not gonna be anything too. I mean, I'd be happy if I was wrong, but I guess moving on from City, the first quote unquote casualty of the war with All for One. I'm gonna purge that. The first quote unquote casualty is Bakugo, and we see what's going on with him. And first thing I want to say, and this is just a little, this might be petty, but I'm just gonna say this now. Well, not petty, more like it doesn't really matter, but to me it was bothering me a little bit as I was watching. I swear, and I might be wrong, but the height difference between Bakugo's mother and father, I always thought she was taller than her husband. But there's a few of these scenes I've seen, she is shorter than her husband, and she's wearing heels. So I don't know what is up. That doesn't really matter. But it was kind of bothering me as I was watching, because now that makes me think, like, Izuku's mother is definitely a little bit shorter than I thought. I know she is taller than her than Deku's mother. I know that for a fact. I just wasn't aware that her husband, towered over her. But then again, it might have something to do with the fact that Bakugo's father was always bent over, kind of hunched over, so maybe that's why I always thought that she was taller than him. That just kind of caught me off guard as I was watching. I mean, that doesn't really matter. What's more important is that we find out what happened to Bakugo at the end of all this, and they that's gonna be some rehabilitation on his part, because like he had to put bones together in his arm. Oof.
Yeah, I love how they said we were able to piece enough bones together that it's still an arm. That's when you know times are tough.
Well, I mean, apparently it looks like he could still use it if he goes to rehab. Like he'll be able to. I don't know how much useful it would be. Granted, he says that his quirk depends on his hands. So like, and like him trying to get a prosthetic wouldn't be the best, because it sounds like his quirk is in his hand and not in his arm. So
yeah, I was surprised by that. He said he needs his hands for the quirk. I thought he could sweat from anywhere, but I guess it makes sense that it comes out his hands.
No, I think he can sweat from anywhere, but maybe his hands make it easy for him to detonate things. But I mean, as again, we see him grab people with his hands, open palm, and explode them. So.
Yeah, but maybe like, I mean, you're not gonna like this, but maybe Because he jerks off so much, he's got sweaty palms.
Moving on. We're gonna just think about that. Why? Every time, like
He's just like, that's how I get my sweat. I get big sweaty palms, and then I just go from there.
he may even learn to use his power, because I mean his power evolved during the war, and he was able to, like you said before, spilling sweat everywhere. But I guess also the other thing too, that maybe that's just the result of him consistently moving, because he does mention that one of the reasons why he has those giant grenade gauntlets is to contain his sweat, because he moves around a lot, so he ends up sweating like a lot. And apparently, according to the main reason why Bakugo was moving as quick as he was is because his palms were so like used and overused that they were callousing, and his body couldn't sweat through his palms anymore. That's why it was coming out of his body. So this maybe one of those situations like where in a fight, if he's in a fight for a very long time, he just gets stronger. It's kind of ridiculous when you really think about it.
That's kind of a fun like motif for Bakugo, though, to like be like, the more intense the situation, the more powerful I am because I sweat more.
I mean, this whole idea is like,
it's just, it sort of oddly fits him, though, doesn't it? That like,
yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, like, I mean, his like what he admires about All Might, and he said this over and over again, it has never changed, is that, you know, but All Might always wins. So, you know, it's the same time, it's like his idea of I will win, you know, in this particular case, yeah, if he's in a fight long enough, as long as he doesn't pass out from dehydration, he should be able to win.
I love it.
But yeah, like finding out Bakugo's got to go do some rehab, but you know, the doctor tells him that you're gonna have to like take it easy for a while here. And he said that's the doctor's order, and it looks like Bakugo heard him that time, and he kind of jerked. He's like, you know, and his mother, you know, was there too. And I find it cool that, you know, we got a chance to see Bakugo and parents together, because I think that's a rare occurrence for the most part, being them as a family. But that's kind of cool. His mother seemed concerned, which is also another nice, you know, difference, because usually his mother seems to be abrasive for the most part. These are some things that I've seen her is like, she's really abrasive. But again, as I said before, like seeing her kind of soft, it was like also a different side. But I guess at the same time, that's her son, you know, it's her baby, so I guess she will be concerned because that's her only child. But with that, after we see that and the arm and the cast, do we move? Kind of funny they brought up, if you want to continue hair work, you can get a prosthesis like Mirko. So it's interesting they brought her up. I wonder what's gonna happen with her, because like it's like
a personality match for Bakugo, isn't it? Like a very physically aggressive character that is virtuous but kind of angry all the time seeming. She was like a good personality fit. That's why I thought they picked her.
Yeah, they like depict her because of the whole arm thing. So by the way, it's like, I honestly, there's a lot of people that in this episode we kind of get confirmation about their future. They didn't talk about Mirko. I know she's not dead, so I'm actually kind of curious if she's going to continue doing hero work, because she doesn't have any limbs anymore.
Mirko?
Like one leg, but like she's lost both arms and a leg in this fight.
Yeah, she's going to keep going. She's going to get prosthetics and keep going. Mirko, right?
Yeah, the rabbit girl.
Yeah, she's absolutely. While she has like a single living cell in her body, she's not going to stop. I think she's going to keep going.
Okay, I feel like she needs to retire while she's still got a leg. But okay.
What's the point at that point? Ooh, my precious leg.
I mean, that's still a part of your body.
I know it's still part of your body, but like you're already there. You know what I mean? Just finish yourself off, or
wow,
or one, or whatever.
Heard that here, folks? You only have one limb. Finish yourself off.
Wow, that's not what I mean. Is like, it's not like she's already gone all that way and given up all that much. Like she might, like, with her personality and spirit, like I feel like she would just be like, well, her mentality wouldn't be like, I've got something to save so much as I've got nothing to lose.
Sitting here laughing. Okay, with that, we go to the next room, and the next couch is here for Izuku Midoriya, and apparently they put him in the same room with All Might. But Midoriya apparently can still feel his arms, and he also feels that he's still got an ember of All for One in him, but One for All, but he calls himself Quirkless, so he doesn't have the power in him anymore. Just like
he probably can do that. He can probably make fingers appear, since that's not a quirk. And that's probably it, right?
I don't know where the fingers came from.
Or hands, or no, thumbs, or whatever, like Shigaraki did.
I don't know why he would be that was totally just a body metamorphosis thing that was given to Shigaraki.
But if he trains his body enough, he should be able to have that because it's not a quirk.
That was a scientific experiment.
Just like Shigaraki did.
That was a scientific experiment. One did that to him. That wasn't normal. That wasn't natural. Part of that was natural.
Absolutely. It was like a non-quirk ability that he had. So if Shigaraki could have it as a non-quirk ability, then Deku should be able to have it too. Or something similar. I mean, since he does the feet thing, maybe he'll have like unlimited feet instead of hands, but it's gotta be something, right?
No?
Why not?
But again, that was something that was done to Shigaraki. All for One did that to him.
Yeah, they'll just do it to Midoriya too. Now that they know how to do it, now that it's been done.
No, don't. What the heck? No, don't put that into the universe. No. How dare you? But basically find out Midoriya's fine. He's got a lot of bruises. It's not really fine. That's more just like he's alive. But he's asking like, how did I end up in a room with you? As All Might's over there in a full body cast, apparently with more bolts in a human being than the doctors have ever seen before.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, but that also told me one thing. All Might's gonna be in a wheelchair, but he dies. There's no way he's walking again.
Yeah, he gave it all.
Like he's literally wheelchair bound the rest of his life now. At least that's my assumption. There's no way if he lives after this, he's gonna be in a wheelchair. Like I was just like, good gracious, like more bolts than the doctors have ever seen a human being before.
And yeah, was almost like his wet dream was to like give it all, right? Like I mean, he wanted to give it all up if he could.
I think it's wanted to be useful. I don't know that it was like wet dream. I think he just wanted to be useful. After giving up One for All. I'm still under the impression because like they showed
Deku out, right? Poor Deku, because Deku. I feel bad for Deku because he's young, and like his body is trashed. Like his hands are trashed. His face is scarred. Uraraka looked at him and was like, "Ew, Shigaraki is." And I was like, "Ew, Deku, is that you?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's me. I'm okay." And she's like, "Oh, I hope your hair grows back." She's no longer attracted to him. It's really sad for him.
Don't listen to him, folks. He's just joking. None of that actually happened. She was more concerned about like
she said, "I hope your hair grows back."
But that wasn't her being disgusted. She was just concerned. But apparently they had to do something up there by his head. But apparently it was an injury so bad they needed to shave his head. I will say,
I don't know. I think it was a similar reaction where if she had seen him take his pants off and realized he had a micro penis. I think that would have been a similar reaction to the one she had.
No, you are not ruining any future plans that I had. Like in my headcanon of Deku marrying Uraraka, you are not doing this. I refuse. I refuse.
It was his micro penis moment.
No, refusing.
Well, she's definitely not dating him until his hair grows back. She's definitely not dating him until his hair grows back.
I mean, his hair is gonna grow back because it's not a hairstyle.
Thank God for him, because she's certainly not dating him until.
Let's see here. Oh, really quick about Deku and All Might. Really quick. Apparently, after Deku lets it slip that he doesn't feel One for All. Apparently, Bakugo has been listening keenly behind that door. So when he hears that Bakugo opens the dang door, he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I will say, like, the response that Bakugo had here, as I wasn't expecting it, it kind of makes a lot of sense because, like, I mean, he views himself as the person that ended All Might. So it happening again, you know, this time to somebody that he was hoping to be able to, you know, race for the the best hero spot. Now it's happening again. I felt kind of bad for him there because like he was really just trying to push Deku ahead so he gets stronger, so he can chase after him again and get stronger than him.
Yeah. Also, really, in the final fight, it was Bakugo that sort of saved both of them.
Yeah, I still feel really bad.
First, he saved All Might by murdering a baby, and then he saved Deku by murdering a peaceful person that was just begging for the fighting to stop. So I could see how Deku might feel a little bad finally.
There was only two ways that was going to, and Kurogiri was going to die either way. I'm just saying. There's no way.
And Deku, who was coming in at like Mach 300, was able to process that whole social interaction on his way in to figure out that that's what was going on.
There was no way. I still stand. There's no way he could redirect that punch. There's no way he redirected around him. There was no way. I refuse to believe that he could do that in the seconds that he showed up.
He could have just punched again. It's not like he didn't end without embers.
There's no way All For One was going to let him do that after like he missed his first shot. There's no way All For One's going to stand there and like let him. Like
723 heroes like surrounding him, whose sole purpose was to help him make whatever punch he tried to make.
I still don't believe that would have worked out. But I feel like All For One is still tricky enough where he could pull something out.
All For One was shattered. He was an eyeball and some skin around the eyeball.
That was after the first punch.
That was what was left of his human form.
That was after the first punch. Done with the first punch.
Wasn't Kurogiri there after the first punch?
No, I don't think he did.
I think he was. Yeah, I think it was after the first punch that Kurogiri shows up.
I'm very confused with your argument with what?
What?
I'm confused about your argument.
It's not an argument. I was saying I guess Bakugo would feel bad if he had just finished murdering a baby and fighting a peaceful person that was just trying to make this fighting stop, and was instrumental in saving everybody. Kurogiri helped save everybody. They didn't mind control.
Bakugo was trying to kill him. I think it was just
Kurogiri wasn't being mind controlled when he saved everybody. He was emerging from under the Nomu brainwashing to help everybody. Nobody would have won without Kurogiri's willing help.
Shirakumo literally apologized that he was about to move. So I don't think he wanted to do what he was doing there. Kurogiri's mask came over his face as he was apologizing. He didn't. Shirakumo did not want to do what he was doing.
And then President Mike said he always wanted to do whatever he could to help.
Yeah, I think he was being mind controlled. I don't think I think that was not really mind control, more like he was doing what his programming was made to do, was protect the young master. But I'm just saying, there's no way in that fight Deku would have been able to redirect, and I still don't believe that All For One would have let Deku. If Deku turned off the power to not hit him, All For One would definitely kill Deku right then and there. There's no way he would let him get away after him Deku not using his power to punch him in the face.
He was using pure force of will to hold his body together in the first place, and he wasn't interested in defeating Deku. He was interested in finding a body to steal.
Yeah, he'd get away with it. We'd be in the situation again.
He was desperate enough. He was desperate enough that he was considering Grape.
I'm just saying, Deku did not punch him there. He would get away, or worse.
Yeah, let's play that out. So then, All For One transfers his body into Grape. Do they lose the battle?
Yeah, because he just get away.
As Grape.
Yes, because you
He's
still have the other powers.
Grape is going. Grape in the middle of that battlefield is going to. Grape in the middle of that battlefield is going to escape all of the other heroes.
Yes, he would have all the other powers. It wasn't like All for One was going to transfer himself into Grape just to have Grape Rush's powers. He have all the other powers he had stolen over the years. Those go with him. They don't just stay in the body.
He'd also have One for All in him, which would destroy Grape's body.
He just keep transferring. He would get away. Like, I'm telling you right now, like I 100%. This isn't me trying to be funny or anything. I honestly believe he would get away. I think he is conniving enough where he would get away. There's absolutely no way. Everybody else is injured and he's in a fresh body. And he could just toss out One for All. He can give and take.
Grape wasn't even a fresh body.
It's like a fresh body to him because his current body, he was
Grape had like a bandage over his eye and a head wound and.
Grape people he could have taken, not just like Great Rush was not the only like option he had. As you're trying to make this, I'm not like this is the only option was Great Rush. No, the only option was not Great Rush. I'm just saying, I honestly truly believe he would have gotten away.
A completely burned out Ida was nearby. Like there was like nobody nearby was a great choice.
He would have gotten away. Like,
a fresh Ida would have been fucking fantastic because then he would have been able to run faster than everybody else. But like, there was nobody there that was like in good condition at that point.
He would have gotten away. I truly believe this is not an act. I truly believe he'll got.
You know what? I will even say, so I'm not being completely irrational. Like I will even say he would have had a chance to get away, but Deku could have punched him before he did that, or he could have gotten the body and like still made it, and still not made it. There's always the chance that everybody would have succeeded, even if he hadn't.
I don't believe like he's too conniving. Like. Back when All Might thought he was done, he still got away. Like I mean, to me, it's like okay, if the #1 hero didn't manage to prevent him from escaping, and All Might had all the power in the world, he could move quick. Like it wasn't like All Might was slow. Like somehow he got away.
Can we also just explore the fact that I'm not sure he could have actually transferred himself into the body?
Why?
Because he no longer had his hands.
Is All for One's ability to transfer solely relegated to his hands? I thought he still had a fully formed arm.
I believe it had to do with that hand, like the hole in his hand was how he transferred himself.
I think he still had a fully formed arm. It wasn't like he just had a portion of his face and a fully formed arm, if I remember correctly. I think it was the arm that had the hole in it.
Maybe. I don't remember seeing it. I remember seeing like most of his body was like metal pieces that he was pulling together to make like a makeshift temporary body, and then he had his that little piece of eye and skin around it, which was like all that was left the original body that wasn't even his body, still was just Shigaraki. But I believe the holes in his hands were like what allowed him to transfer himself.
I feel like he would have found another freaking way. I mean, like again, like we don't know half the powers he took. I mean, they're all gone now. They don't really matter. But like, we don't know half the powers he took. He only used the one that he thought was convenient enough to do what he wanted to do with him.
And he also was, on top of all that, Shigaraki was still inside of him, like fighting him, and the little bit of fragments of First were in there. Yoichi, like, distracting him. Maybe not beating him, but distracting him.
I don't think they were doing anything because I mean, they woke up after Deku punched him, right? They weren't doing anything. They weren't awake until Deku had punched them.
Not sure. Yeah, but I think it was the first punch is what I'm saying, I guess. I think the first punch woke him up, not the second.
That's what the second punch did it, because like they weren't doing anything. All for One didn't find himself in that world with his younger brother until Deku had punched him again. That's when he got attacked by all of them. all the first punch did was just shatter a good portion of his body. And he would have disappeared if All For One wasn't so stubborn.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the fight would have gone on.
I find it hard to believe because, like, All For One, to me, All For One is that person that if you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Like, I really don't believe, like, I don't have faith that, you know, if Deku had decided to turn off One For All and back off, all because of Kurogiri. And on top of that, it's like, it's not like Kurogiri was gonna live, because I'm pretty sure All For One would have just stabbed him anyway. He took his power back. I don't think Kurogiri was going to survive that. On top of that, when I was reading, Kurogiri was already dying. I think that's the only reason why I think Bakugo's explosion killed him. I don't think Bakugo was there trying to
I don't think Bakugo knew what was going on. I'm defeating my own argument here, but I think Bakugo was coming too fast from too far away to have any idea what was actually going on there, and he just saw something in Deku's way and knocked it out of the way. I'm breaking both of our arguments with that statement. I think he just saw a thing in way, get out of way.
I mean, either way, Bakugo sees himself.
I'm
as
wounded. I'm on my last movement. Like I'm mostly more dead than alive at this point. My entire body is broken. I have this energy that gives me the power to go forward extremely fast. I'm coming in at like Mach 10. Like he's probably really close to breaking the sound barrier. And like, I don't think the whole conversation is reaching his ears, or the context of the situation is something that he can figure out that fast.
I don't think Bakugo was there trying to kill him. Like, I think a lot of people were like all angry over the death of Kurogiri. I don't think Bakugo knew he was gonna kill him. In all honesty, because a lot of people brought the argument, Bakugo exploded him before and it didn't do anything. All it really did was just cause him a little pain. It didn't do anything to Kurogiri when he exploded him that first time. Though I will say that was before Bakugo's quirk had, you know, matured and gotten stronger. But even still, it didn't seem like it affected him the first time he did it. All it really did was just kind of like a taser shot.
I think he hit him with everything he had left.
I don't think Bakugo's intent was like, I'm gonna kill him, man. I don't think that was his intent. I think that was his idea was get him away out of Deku's way. Gonna end One For All for good. He doesn't need to be there. All this other stuff, I think Deku would have freaking. Because honestly, here's the thing. Regardless of how good spirited, you know, Deku, I feel like he wouldn't have ended his punch there. Because Kurogiri is a villain too. Regardless of the situation of like, it seemed like Kurogiri was facing the other way. I don't believe Deku could have moved. Now, if he had, if Deku still had, what's the name? Second quirk gear shift? Maybe. Then he could like stop himself midair, translate the energy or to him shifting around him and then knocking him out of the way. Deku could have done that with gear shift, but he doesn't have gear shift anymore. Him stopping midair to do that doesn't make sense. Other than him stopping the power and him dropping away. But Deku still had to run at him again. And again, I think that's enough time for All For One to get away. Because everybody else, you said before, was already kind of like, you know, they were on their last leg. I mean, freaking Ida, who caught Deku after he tripped, like burnt out the exhaust in the back of his like ankles. Like, Ida wasn't gonna be there again. Ida was gone.
And to your point, it's not like Murder's in Bakugo's superhero name or something.
I think he's dropping that, and he's gonna go at Dynamite. That's my headcanon, okay? But
he's not gonna go with Great Explosion, Murder, God, Dynamite.
Wants to murder. I think he just thinks the word sounds cool. Because again, he's a kid. He's a dumb kid. Like, you know, taboo things seem cool to him. I honestly believe that's really what my murder is in his name. And I mean, what sounds cooler than Murder God? I was expecting you to come up with something really quick there.
I was wrong, but you didn't. Well, the first thing that came to mind was Froppy, but
that wasn't his hero name. That's Froppy's hero name.
You said, "Well, what sounds better?" And I was just like, "Well, Froppy was there."
Okay. With that, I think
it was right there. Froppy was right there for me to throw out your way.
probably already tossed Deku along with Shoji. But after that, Deku finds out. I mean, Bako finds out what happened, and then like All Might kind of just says to both of them that you're going to be good heroes, but one of them doesn't have a quirk right now. Kind of sad. I also want to point out we never talked about this at all as it was happening during the final fight, but like I'm pretty sure you noticed that like All Might's eyes were like becoming less black, like to the point now he looks normal. Kind of funny.
No, I didn't notice that, but I saw comments about it, and then I forgot to pay attention to it.
I mean, yeah, and I think it was like earlier this. It was definitely starting to happen earlier this season. I think it was already happening last season. I think I could be wrong, but I noticed that when they finally flashed from black to white, I was like, oh dear, like those eyes aren't as sunken anymore. What the heck? I don't know what that was meant to signify. So like, I mean, maybe like finally, his connection to One for All is finally gone, I guess. But it was happening before Deku decided to send All for One in there, and on top of that, he was like going in and out of the Vesh's world, which is interesting. It was never even talked about. Like I think the only person even noticed it. Maybe two people noticed it. Like number 2 noticed it, and I think Deku might have noticed it a little bit. It was never brought up that he was going in and out of the Vesh's world. All Might didn't even like say much more than like, I was there, that I'm not. What? But I mean, granted, he was also close to death too, so that may be what that really was. He was just like, it's almost going to the light.
Is it just maybe that like he was starting to find like hope and peace and not be in the dark place?
No, I think he was just slowly. I think that was maybe signifying he was close to death, because like I mean that's where you go when you die.
No, I thought maybe like he was being less broken was a possible reason. Like he was like the fight.
Are you talking about him going into Vesh's world? Sorry, I'm misinterpreting what
talking about the eyes. That like the eyes were like he was finding that like he was less broken than he was, and like I don't know, just kind of like coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like he was finding hope in Deku. Like Deku was kind of saving him and giving him a reason to feel like there was hope in the world, and like that like the world could go on without him as the symbol of peace, you know?
I don't know. I kind of like, maybe this is one of those mysteries like maybe I don't need to solve. I could maybe see that being, but like now it's like Deku.
I think at one point like everybody counted on him so much as the symbol of peace that like everybody wondered like, oh, the whole world's going to fall apart if anything happens to him. And the weight on him was probably enormous. And then when he was losing his power, he was losing his health, and then he lost his power entirely, and he lost the embers and stuff like that. There was a part of him that was just like, that's it, I failed. You know what I mean? Like the world can't go on without me. And I think maybe Deku taught him how to hope again. You know what I mean? And have put faith in someone other than himself. I like to think that that might be the reason.
I mean, you can go thinking like that's the reason. I mean, I could see
because he straight up says that Deku's his hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I noticed those eyes popped up from black to white much earlier than this season. So I don't like. I mean, maybe there could be correlation. Maybe in his mind, it'd
be a slow process, wouldn't it? Like if you thought you were the world depended on you, it'd be a slow process to get from that to the world's going to be okay.
I guess. I mean, I was about to say like you have a point, but it's like for me, it's like I'd rather think that if there's a reason, mangaka has it in his brain, and maybe it's somewhere written down, and maybe that Ultra, whatever that book that they released,
Plus Ultra,
but that book that they released that I don't have my hands on yet. Maybe in the future.
Plus Ultra Instinct. Sorry.
No, but I like to think there's somewhere in there. You know, I could believe that. You know, if it was all Deku, that's cool that Deku saved him. You know? But really quick, we have Deku kind of like lamenting that he wasn't able to really, just truly save Shigaraki, and But then All Might kind of says too, like if the crying child wasn't there when you had saved Shigaraki, you had truly saved him. But then we have this scene where like apparently, because earlier when Deku does like punch off one and it's all over, see Shigaraki saying his final words to him, and then after he tells Spinner that Tomura Shigaraki destroyed to the very end, he does say something else to Deku, and I thought maybe they were not going to let us know what he said to him. But I'm glad they did. He basically said, it all depends on you guys do from here on out. Good luck. And I was like, oh wow, he gave Deku his blessing. He let go of all that hate, and he said, good luck with whatever you're gonna do now. So I thought that was kind of cool. Tomura has let go of everything. So I thought that was like a nice little, encapsulation of Tomura's life, and then he smiles like a hero as he slowly disintegrates. And after that, after like had their happy little moment with All Might, then the graduation happens, which I thought was like a nice little a nice happy point in this otherwise kind of sad part of the anime. Everybody like got a chance to, the big three got the graduation, and then President Mike's over here on the mixing station. Having the time of his life. He was like he trained for this moment because he was like going hard.
I felt like he was a little bit strained. The other characters I thought were all very happy, but there was a sort of urgency for him that like this was a little more a mission than just a party for him.
I think it's both. I mean, like he's the music dude. He is literally the music dude. This is the role he's in our life.
There's some of the lines I don't know if I'd be able to find the exact moment, but like there was a specific moment where he was talking, and it sounded like he wasn't necessarily even having fun, but he thought that was very important to do.
I want to believe that it was just both. I mean, again, like he is a music dude, and he was bringing the music, to the thing. And again, people, they need something happy going on in life after what happened than what they experienced.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think his name is Nezu. Apparently, the president is like probably thinking about what he was going to do after this war happened. Everybody got to graduation. Apparently, then Mirio shows up, and also they confirmed that apparently, at least like Sun Eater says that Mirio stayed behind to make sure they were okay. Okay, which I know that doesn't make you any happier because you'd rather him have been in the middle of the fight, but I think it was better. He was better off, better served, helping everybody get to safety and helping his friends make sure they're okay. I know you would rather him have been a part of the fight. So I'm glad I got confirmation that at least he was off doing what I thought he was doing, helping people in the best way he could.
I'm glad they brought him back for like something important, at least, even if it wasn't like in the fight itself. But yeah, I mean, I missed him, but I was happy to see him here. It threw me a little bit at first, his speech. But when I watched it the first time I watched it, I didn't like it. The second time I watched it, I was like, yeah, that works. I think part of what threw me, and this is going to, remember I said a lot of this is going to this episode might be you just explaining basic things to me. I didn't remember him getting his powers back, and I'm pretty sure that I was supposed to, and that it was really obvious that he got his powers back at one point.
They gave his powers back.
I just didn't remember it. I'm sure that it happened.
I mean, they did it off screen. He came back into the show with his powers. They did it off screen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're supposed to remember that. It's just that, he got his powers back off camera, and they explained that it was Eerie that did it.
Yeah. But so it threw me for a second when his clothes went flying off and then he crashed through the wall. I was like, wait, what? And that plus his like sort of uncharacteristically serious opening, like that we've lost much and gained nothing, and everything else kind of threw me, and I didn't like it at first. But then when I watched it again, I was like, no, I'm okay with this.
I think he has a serious moment. So he had a serious moments when it came to Erie and protecting her.
Yeah, yeah, but it was a different type of serious. Like when he stands in front of everybody and speaks, he's usually about bringing joy and inspiration. And I was like, this at first it didn't feel joyful. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it turned me around a little bit the next time. I thought maybe my all-time favorite, but I was much more okay with it the second time I watched it than I was the first. The first I straight up didn't like it. The second time I was better with it.
I think it was more funny how like he started speaking and everybody lost their collective cool and said there was no joke.
Yeah, but there was the joke of him falling out of his clothes and
No, but when he
surprising
started
everybody.
talking at first, because everybody was expecting him to pull a joke and he didn't. He didn't do
Yeah,
the clothing thing until after he finished speaking.
clothes beam. Yeah, my most metro ability.
After that, after having their graduation, everybody. Oh, there's the pony girl. I guess I didn't see her earlier. Then we go to apparently. Oh, that's it. I didn't see that. That's apparently class 2A is a temporary room. And then we see everybody after everybody's still recovering. Everybody kind of looks like some of these people look like a mess. Other people don't. And you see, apparently Azawa just opens up with like, normally I'm not supposed to be your homeroom teacher in your second year, but situations have changed, so here I am.
And everybody is like, yay! Which is funny because like the first day he was their homeroom teacher, everybody treated him like some sort of monster. He's like, I'm gonna kick everybody out, have the entire class out, and everything else.
So really quick here, not eraser, but cellophane Zero kind of brings like he brought that Bago's here, and then Bago kind of acts even-headed, and he's like making too much sense, and Bago kind of goes off him a little bit, and then we have one important thing. Two important things are kind of like one. Three important things are kind of like one. Ayama comes in. He's like, "I'm leaving UA, but like I eventually intend to stand by you guys' side as the hero in the future." But like right now, because apparently, I guess I didn't remember this, but apparently, him going to UA was all an all-for-one scheme, which is interesting. I guess they must have said that at some point. They revealed he was a traitor. He feels like he doesn't deserve to be with them right now. He's leaving, but he's going to go to another school to continue hero training, even though
Okay.
the teacher said that it's cool for him to stay. He doesn't feel like he deserves to graduate with them. Like what his feelings were, at least that's what I got from his explanation.
I was good with it, this situation, but I was sad. Like I didn't have a problem with it being part of the story. It makes perfect sense, but I was like, oh, I wish he could just do what he has the potential to do now that he's discovered it. I know the idea is that he will eventually get there, but like I was just like, you're ready now. Like I wish you could just do what you're ready to do.
I mean, he doesn't feel like he deserves to graduate with them, and this is what I got from that. It's like,
which is perfectly valid. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like from a writing standpoint, from a story standpoint, it was perfectly valid. I was just sad to see him like. There were so many heroes in this that like reached their full potential or the next level at the exact moment that they had to take a step back in some way. Like Bakugo found his next level right as he was like possibly crippled for life. I mean, there's a good chance he'll heal himself, but like the doctor's prognosis right now is that he's not going to be the same ever. And Deku hits his peak and then has to give up his quirks. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of characters in this story arc that like peaked in one way or another only to like lose everything. Endeavor, you know what I mean, peaked in a lot of ways in this one and lost it. So a lot of people like simultaneously reached their high point, but also like were forced into retirement or injury, like big injury.
I understand. I was just mostly just trying to, he said he wasn't, and you know, I wouldn't want to force him to be in a spot where he doesn't feel like he deserves. It is sad that he had to leave. I mean, they even say he's got more control over his laser. I was like, oh wow, they bring that up in the middle of him shooting, and apparently, I guess it's also kind of sad now too, because like now they discover that apparently Ayama can glitch her invisibility. Now he's gonna be going, and like she won't have that. Apparently, this is another thing too. Apparently, there's been people
Probably
shipping.
relief after what Grape did about it.
Yeah, yeah. I was reminded. I was reminded after like I was reminded after he jumped on her or tried to jump on her of like why I guess
That's Grape.
like, I guess why he shouldn't be allowed near women, um uh but like people were shipping Aoyama and Invisible Girl apparently after the manga ended. Only them like the power couple is what I was hearing. And I kept on seeing it out later too. I was like, why are these two being shipped? I was like, okay, well this makes a little more sense of him glitching her invisibility or him being the key to her invisibility kind of just being slightly turned down. Not all the way. But...
I mean, am I a terrible person to have Ayama like set off my gaydar?
That's up to you and whatever you're into.
I'm not into it, but I just didn't. It sort of set off my gaydar. Like it seemed like he might turn out to be a homosexual character. That's all.
No, I just think he's overly flamboyant.
He's fabulous.
That doesn't make you gay. This should have tendency. People will take to be gay. You know, they're not gay. I don't know if he is. I mean, there's never been confirmation.
I don't know. He just seemed more likely to be gay than into a woman that he couldn't see. But
okay, I think we should talk about this. As Ayama is like about to, you know, he's closing out his speech. He kind of like has another one of those like.
Usually in bed you turn off the lights for sex. That's all I'm saying.
I had something to say that I thought better of it. As he's about to end his speech, he points a piece of cheese that he probably had in his pocket towards Deku, and it just reminded me of like when Deku first, you know, gave him cheese, or no, that's when Ayama gave Deku cheese.
That was cheese. That's what that was.
Yeah, that's what
I had a note to ask you what that was and what its significance was.
I think it was the cheese that he tried giving Deku when before Ayama was outed as the
and
traitor.
He just kept it?
I guess he had a piece.
I'm gonna save this cheese for my entire life now and carry it with me.
No, I think he just had some brie on him in his room that I think he took with him. I had no idea. That's probably not brie. I don't know what that is, but but he had like, it was just a memory of like when him and Deku had their talk all those seasons ago before Deku's powers awoke and to him having more than one power during that little part of the season. But then with that, apparently Shinzo reveals that apparently he's being replaced, and it's Shinzo, which was freaking awesome. I feel kind of bad because once Shinzo showed up, everybody's attention shifted from him to Shinzo. You could just see him in the background, like, I was supposed to be
probably not to cry.
Star. No, I cannot stop twinkling, as he probably says. But it seems again it's like everybody's like really excited that he's, you know, gonna be in their class, which is cool. Like, I'm glad that he got the upgrade that he deserved. I think I'm trying to, you know, go this quick as I can. Oh yeah, then I guess we could talk about this really quick. So one of Izawa's previous students that he failed came back, and they were spending a lot of time on her, and I was very confused by this. I don't understand her significance. Maybe she's gonna be in whatever they have planned next, whatever. It just seems kind of strange that they brought her in to talk to them about, I guess it's gonna happen, you know, with the heroes in the world, where they're gonna be going to America or wherever they need to be to help out, making sure that, you know, another All for One doesn't show up. It was really strange. I don't remember seeing her at any other point. The girl with the pink hair, or that's a fuchsia, whatever color hair she has. Like she apparently was a student of Erasers.
Even now, they're introducing new characters. It's such a giant universe.
I don't know the point of her, and I was very confused at like why did they bring her up now, other than just showing that the students that Eraser had are still around. They're not dead.
Do you think there's a lost in translation reason that they called him Old Eraser? Like that's a nickname that translates well in Japanese, but in English it just wasn't anything to do with it, so they just did the best they could.
I think maybe it's supposed to be Old Man Eraser. Usually, typically, at least when I can tell, they call, even if you're not really that much older than them, typically, if you have experience above them, I've seen this in anime where they usually call, even if you are like in your 20s, to still call you Old Man for some strange reason. It could just be what that was, and it was just a bad translation job.
The class seemed a little surprised by it. They're like, you're calling him that?
Well, I think that's just more like her calling. It's like one of those affectionate, endearing terms, because it didn't seem like Eraser cared all that much. He kind of just glossed over it and said, "Oh yeah, she was in my class beforehand."
Yeah, he treated her like she was kind of a nuisance.
Basically, he just didn't care. I think that's mainly just her endearing, some way of endearment towards him. But it doesn't sound like she hates him, because he came in saying, like, he gave us a chance to discover what we really wanted to do, basically. Like, it sounds like he didn't.
Probably like made out after class or something.
Oh, not that's sexual harassment. But with that, she comes in and tells us what's going to happen with the heroes in Japan going outside. But I thought it was interesting they decided to let the students know that. That means I'm guessing there's gonna be a lot more hero work for the students from here on out. And then she leaves, and that's it. And then I guess the class ends, and we see them all in the front of the school, I guess heading to their dorms. Man, there might be a movie, and she might be a part of it. That's what I assume. They gave her a lot of screen time for a character we weren't going to see again. There is a movie, I don't know anything. But now we see them, like, I guess, going into their dorm. And then the point of the anime episode where Doc meanly talking about Deku's, like, shaved head. I guess speaking of shaved heads, what that shaved head?
Ew, look at shaved head.
Tokiyami, apparently his hair gets made, he's like, his hair looks different. Bro,
imagine living in a world where like someone has straight up green hair and that's not worth bringing up, but when they shave their head a little bit, like that's something to talk about.
It's a different look that Deku doesn't normally have. That I honestly thought was supposed to be a new look, but apparently that was just a medical procedure done to him.
Yeah, I don't think he decided to go like punk rock.
It's not really a mohawk, but whatever. I'm not gonna fight over that. It looked weird, and I was sitting there thinking, like, I don't know if I like that. It looks odd. Speaking of like people we saw in the hospital, I'm surprised we didn't see Uraraka in the hospital. Like, I'm guessing maybe she wasn't as bad off as I thought she was.
The only thing I could think of is that like, if her problem was blood loss, which I think that's what was the problem, then like a blood transfusion and would get her to the point where she could just sort of take it easy. One interesting comment that I didn't observe myself, but I read in Reddit that I thought was curious was that if you watch her carefully in the anime, like when nobody else is looking, she's not actually smiling usually. Like maybe she's part of it is her putting on a brave face and like not quite being as well off as she's letting on.
I mean, I could say that. I mean, I could see that, but like, I honestly thought what was going to happen to her, and it was going to be really sad if it happened, is like she lost her uterus or something like that, because like where she got stabbed.
Her uterus?
Listen. Just listen. Where Toga stabbed her, it was kind of like in that area. I'm not saying where she was stabbed.
Okay, we're doing this. We're really doing this.
some part of her, I thought she lost something that was really important, or, you know, her being a woman or whatever like that. That was my thought process when it was all happening, and I was preparing myself for it. But apparently nothing really bad happened to her, which is also strange. She is holding her stomach sometimes, so maybe she's just dealing with scars she's not happy with. Body disfigurement, I don't know. I just thought she lost something really important, that she wasn't going to be able to have children. Even if it wasn't her losing her uterus, something else that, you know, helps with that. She lost, I don't know. But clearly, it looks like maybe like it might have just been blood loss, and I was overly worried for no reason. I was prepared because it looked like where Toga stabbed her was not in her stomach, and it looked like it was someplace lower, back before she had given her blood transfusions. But I'm just saying, like, to me, I thought they did something to Haraka that was gonna make it so she couldn't have children, and that was gonna be her loss at the end of all this. It's like she was not gonna be able to have children, at least not the normal way. I'm gonna get off the topic. That was what my concern was. If it wasn't death, it was like, oh good lord, this is not gonna be in them good for her, considering that she is in love with Deku, and she told Deku, I think. No, Mina outed her. Never mind. I forgot that's what happened. Mina outed her. But with that, they all about to go home and whatnot, and then Todoroki, well, they're about to have a party, but Todoroki says like, I can go as long as it isn't today. And I was like, that's interesting. And then we find out that, you know, Shoto is going with his, you know, family to, as the last event of the episode, he's gonna go with his family to go, you know, see Toya. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought Toya was dead. The fact that he's barely alive is like, good gracious. And I'm not sure how much time he's got like to live, but it's something he may have enough to live, because apparently after you go to visit him, you know, we have Endeavor give his speech about like everything he's done and how he plans to make up for it, you know, to come and visit, you know, Toya every day while he's still alive. That is not, I don't even know you will call that really alive. Like, they're just keeping him on life support now. Look the best way they can, because this man, like, body is burnt beyond recognition. Like, he looks like, I don't even know, like Hellraiser.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but he looks very bad. It's like, he shouldn't be alive. Like, the man has having heart palpitations. He can't talk for maybe more than 5 minutes a day. Like,
and then barely, and then without like nonstop hacking and coughing and.
Like, I thought he was dead. And technically speaking, he should be. But like,
and functionally, he mostly is dead. Like they make it clear that he's on his way out.
I know, I'm just saying, like, he is dying, but it's just like I didn't know he survived that nuclear explosion that didn't go off. But it was just the weirdest thing. But I know, like, you know, Endeavor, you know, made his peace with everything. He's like, how what caught me off guard was Endeavor retirement. I was like, oh god, okay. He's no longer going to be a hero, and Hawks can no longer be a hero because he lost his quirk. Wait, who's number 3? Is it Best Genus?
Yeah, Best Genus is still up.
But now he's number 1.
Wow, what a crap number 1 hero.
My poor man, Best Genus. I just thought that was like,
no, don't you think? I love the Best Genus and everything, but like, is that really it?
Unless they really reclassed the number 1s, I mean, all the numbers, which they could do. I mean, Endeavor's out, so is Hawks. Like, the last time that they reclassed everything was when All Might retired, so I suspect that they're going to do the reclassing them once now that both of them are out.
So this is a little wild, maybe, but maybe Lemillion's number 1 hero now, because he just graduated.
But he's not active yet.
I mean, he will be. He'll be within a week or 2, right?
I guess, but he'll gotta have, you know, deeds and stuff like that. He doesn't have like I don't know if he has an active record yet, other than like what he's done to help with the he's done during the war. Even that, I don't think they still gotta like put that in the numbers and on paper, don't they? Like, don't they have to have an actual record? I don't think he has a record yet.
I don't think they ever really explain what makes you the #1 hero or not. But you make a good point.
I honestly, he couldn't be. I'm just saying, like right now, it's like, I don't know if there's a record of him anything, because I feel like they have to. You have to be active.
But I imagine, like, if I had to pick who ends up becoming the next #1 hero that feels like a #1 hero, it would be Lemillion. Best Jeanist is a great hero, but he doesn't feel like a #1 hero to me. As much as I like him, like he's one of my favorite of the pro heroes, but he doesn't feel like a #1 hero.
I get you. I just feel kind of bad as after you said that's like, good lord, ouch. Those man's genes cannot be stretched any further.
Yeah, he was the #3 pro hero. He was the previous #4 and later #3, according to the wiki. That guy that stitched Bakugo up was also a pretty big tier hero. I don't remember if he was what number he was in, but I think he was in the top 5 or 10.
I think he might have been in the top 10. I don't really remember.
And he's not dead either, but I'm sure he's got some time, like without being active in his list, you know.
So Endeavor says, I'm gonna come and see you every day, and if you want to say you hate me over and over again, I'll listen. It's like, geez, like Endeavor's really taking a lot of this. I mean, granted, he's right. Still is like he's like allowing himself to be a punching board, basically. And then, like, as they're about to get ready to leave, because players would have a heart attack, Shoto asked him like what was his favorite food. I don't think they ever make mention of that fact that Shoto's favorite food is soba, but that's in like, one of the profiles they have of Shoto is that he likes soba. But when they have like Toya say that his favorite is soba too, a lot of people were saying when they heard that, they're like, man, two paths diverged. It's like somebody said, like, this may hint that maybe Shoto and him have more in common than they thought, but unfortunately, because of Toya's demise at some point, they probably won't get to know it, which really kind of sucks. Because even Toya at the end of it, as they're walking away, he apologizes to him. It was like, oh wow, he actually feels remorse to his younger brother. Like, he didn't really care all that much about him, but I mean, I guess he does. I guess I always been like a huge, like, you can't hate somebody that much without caring about them a little bit. That's kind of where the hate comes from. It's from pain, from loving that person. Like, I've always been a huge believer in that. Like, you can't hate somebody that much without loving them first. But that's just my thought process on it. And they leave, and then we get the rest of the future of the Todorokis. Shoto's older sister, she apparently quit her job as a teacher, but got work someplace else. His second older brother, he's just gonna disappear, go get married, have a ton of kids, never see his father again. The last bit, he didn't say that, but that's my suspicion. He's gonna have a ton of kids. But he basically says, like, I'm not gonna, like, I'm done here. I've done everything I needed to do. I'm gone. Peace. There's that respect, because he's like, I still can't forgive you what you've done. But apparently there's a little bit of like glimmer that he may be able to eventually get over, what happened to him as a kid. He after his father kind of says, I'm gonna make sure that every bad thing that may come your direction gets funneled to me, so you don't have to worry about it. And the last thing he says, like, I got invited to dance, and all Natsu can say is like, man, that's the first cool thing you said. I was like, damn, like, is this because you haven't been paying attention to him, or is this really the first cool thing he said?
And yet that probably made him so happy.
Yeah, I bet it did, but I was like, dang, that's just harsh. But I guess it's the truth of the matter, I guess, this way. And then the mother, They don't say what she's doing. I'm assuming, I guess she's gonna be visiting her son as well. They didn't say that, but I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen. Basically, because Endeavor can't move by himself unless he gets an automatic wheelchair. I guess basically the mother and father are gonna go visit the son while he's still alive. And then Shoto, says that he's got his friends at UA, so he won't be alone. That kind of says right there that he probably won't be visiting Toya ever again either. Which kind of sucks, but I guess it's it is what it is. He's got his own life he gotta lead. He even texts his mother on the phone, which also shows that he's gotten over the hump on not talking to his mother over the phone, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And
Ed Shot was the number 4 hero.
Oh.
So Ed Shot would depending on how they work on it, would be the new number 2 hero if they count him as active.
I wouldn't count him as active. That man has no limbs unless he grows his body back. I don't know how his quirk works.
Yeah, like I don't know how fast he grows back. He didn't seem to think all was lost.
And then really quick, as this episode ends and the credits roll, we get a little bit of a shot of somebody else. I mentioned him already before. We see Hawks, and apparently he's got a new job. I was just trying to find
sorry to interrupt you. 8 years after he graduated, Lemillion becomes the number 1 hero, according to the wiki. So we were right. He does seem like a number 1 hero, and he does become a number 1 hero. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Well, I did, but sorry I cut you off nonetheless.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I mean, actually, I meant to cut you off, but...
Well, I can't... Obviously, I meant to cut you off, because I jumped in really loudly and everything. But
no,
I also want to be polite about it and recognize that I did it.
Okay, as we're ending the podcast here, Hawks has a new job. He is the new Public Safety Commission's president, apparently. So Hawks' future isn't dead. He's no longer a hero. Well, he's got that katana thing, so I'm guessing he's still gonna try to do things heroically.
That's the one that wasn't broken in his last fight, right? Didn't he have 2 and one of them was broken?
I didn't know one was broken, but I mean, I guess that's what they're showing there. Then yeah.
And then he was like, "Buy space sword." Sorry.
But with that obligatory Avatar reference, we can end things here. The next episode apparently has something to do with Uraraka and other things going on after the events of the war. See what happens.
Do you want to look at my notes, or do you think we should just cut it since it's 12:20?
I mean, is there something you want to add and you think needs to be added? I mean, I have the floor.
I'll skip most of it. Let me see if there's anything fun. I liked that the episode kicked right off with the USA where nothing has happened and the skies are now bright and sunny. And the weather reporter is like the only courageous one that goes against like the party lines and makes a nuanced commentary about the actual world events that took place.
That reporter has gotten so much buzz over the internet. I honestly thought that maybe she was Miracle's sister, but she is not. She's just some random unrelated lady that looks a lot like her.
I didn't recognize her from anything.
No, I was gonna say she's a random unrelated lady that just happens to look like Miracle. I don't know why they designed her that way, but this is like fine. She's unrelated, but she just happens to look like someone else. I'm like, these doppelgangers in America.
It occurred to me that it was interesting that All for One spent his entire life trying to get One for All back, and that the process of doing it was part of what destroyed him. That's more of a last episode comment, but because his body wasn't prepared for it, like it actually did damage to him when he finally got it back, and he spent his whole life trying to get that. So it was a little bit of dramatic irony, I thought. I get that Deku is the greatest guy ever and all, but to be actually fine with losing his quirks and being scarred all over for the rest of his life was kind of wild to me. because I pictured him trying to continue on with like a All for One Iron Man suit.
I mean, I have well,
Or One for All Iron Man suit at the end of it too.
I know I happened to accidentally find out through logbook. So this isn't stated in the manga. They don't say this is what happens to them. This is just in a logbook that they sold. Do you want to know what happens to Deku?
Sure.
So Deku loses One for All. He becomes a teacher at UA, but because his friends from his class were kind of like saddened by this, they all chipped in to pay for an Iron Man suit. So Deku gets that suit, gets to continue on hearing, and becomes number 4.
Number 4, not bad. For someone without powers, that's not bad. At 6 minutes exactly, 9 minutes exactly. Why does he keep saying potatoes?
In minutes?
Yeah, 9 minutes in exactly. He's like repeating potatoes over and over again. I didn't understand it. I think that's Sun Eater doing it.
That's Sun Eater.
It's up.
Just hungry.
It's at the top of. Why specifically potatoes?
Just hungry.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. That also could just be a nervous tick for some reason.
I guess so. Yeah, it didn't strike me as. I thought there was an inside joke I was missing there.
He's just a nervous dude. He doesn't like being up in the limelight. Ironically, with a name like Sun Eater.
928. Who's the redheaded, slightly androgynous person hugging one of the big 3?
Oh, her? You don't. Well, I mean, I guess she wouldn't be. She is Sun Eater and Nijuri's friend.
Okay.
Actually, I should say she's mostly Sun Eater's friend because she's in the flashback where Nijuri is having about Sun Eater before Sun Eater unleashes that giant cannon that does nothing.
Okay.
She's in that cut. She's in that cutscene. She's a friend, a classmate they have. I'm guessing they both share.
At 10:05, what is President Mike's? What does BPM stand for when he says he needs more BPM?
Beats per minute.
Okay. 10:14. Who are the shadowy figures that the principal's talking to? The mouse.
You know, TVs, like I think that was just during when they were coordinating the efforts. Yeah, I think those are the presidents of the other countries.
Oh, it's very Illuminati to have them all be silhouettes like that. Let's see. 13 minutes I asked, what is he holding? I just want to see if this is worth asking or not. Oh no, that's the cheese. I didn't know it was cheese. 1420, I just observed that like the hero students will be spending all their time working on disaster rebuilding efforts, but like what about learning? They've gotten so ripped off like paying to be in this.
What was the question?
At 1420, the hero students they're told they'll be spending the rest of their time working on disaster rebuilding efforts, but like what about learning? These heroes have done like almost no actual classwork. Like they've been deployed as like a army that they pay to be in for like almost all of school.
I think, and this might just be me headcanoning, I thought that when they made it to second year, they were supposed to be utilized elsewhere because they needed to also gain hero experience. It was a part of the curriculum, I think. That they got more on the job training in second year. I don't think they were supposed to have gotten much on the job training in first year, but that just happened to be because of All for One.
1A like was pretty much just a set of warriors through a lot of this, and not like actually learning. I mean, they got experience like in an intern kind of way, I guess, but like they were pretty much learning by doing and not learning by being taught.
I think they were still being taught. They were just not being taught the conventional way.
Yeah, they were taught that Midnight died. They were taught that Endeavor lost his arm. Like, I don't know. Um, Shoto's the only one of Endeavor's kids that really seemed to give him a genuine form of kindness. I thought at 2145. I kind of credit Deku for a big chunk of that because he's the one of the ones that like went so far to help Shoto like heal his relationship with Endeavor. Um, I'm looking forward to the conversation between Deku and Spinner in the next episode, and I'm curious about what's going to go on with Uraraka. The last line of the preview is even if it's none of my concern. So, like, is that a hint that Deku and Uraraka don't end up becoming a couple?
Well, like, I already know the answer to this question. No, they do. They do end up in that brieflet. I don't know why none of this gets told in the manga, but in that brieflet that I read about him becoming a hero, after all that happens, apparently Uraraka and him into a relationship. As for whatever this means, I don't know what's going on. He may be trying to. They may be having their talk after them saving their prospective targets because they had a talk beforehand. Remember, Uraraka was saying how she really wanted to talk to Toga and that was her goal. So I'm guessing maybe. And on top of that, again, there are some points that for some reason Uraraka is like not smiling when they aren't looking at her. I think I remember what that Reddit use was talking about. I think I only seen one scene. I didn't really think too much about it. I thought maybe they were going to explain what was going on in her mind. It's like maybe she feels bad that she wasn't there to support Deku because she was watching him on the phone as she was going to the hospital.
Yeah,
there's not much that could have been done because she was bleeding out of her stomach.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I skipped a bunch of tiny stuff, but like that was pretty much my other things that we didn't talk about already. We talked about a lot of my notes this time around while we were talking, so we can go to bed.
All right, we are very late here. We are at the 2 hours and nearly 30-minute mark on the podcast. See you guys next week for the next episode. Can't wait to see what's going on there. I'm expecting. I'm not expecting that much from the Spinner talk. I mean, I forgot that you were talking about Spinner in that one, but it's like okay, so I guess Deku will tell him what Tomer said, but Spinner didn't look like he was having any of it. The guy looked pissed.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get made fun of for the way you look. All right, good night, everybody.
Good fight. Good night.